We just kind of put our love together for shoes and wanted to help out the community. And that's really how Pasos For Oak Cliff was born. Go back to my first year here as a teacher at Kimball, I started to notice a trend, and that trend was that students with poor quality footwear were more likely to either get bullied, sit in the back of the classroom, be shy. And then I saw a correlation with grades and attendance, but it didn't really become clear to me until I had this one student come into my classroom one day, and whenever he would walk, the sole was coming apart from the upper of the shoe. He wouldn't come to classes often, and so obviously he needed a new pair of shoes, but it was my first year as a teacher, didn't really know how to go about it. Unfortunately, I did not help him, but it stayed in my mind. I started Pasos For Oak Cliff with my girlfriend Alejandra. We started in August of 2020. It wasn't supposed to be a nonprofit, if I'm being honest with you. It was supposed to be a one-time thing. We were supposed to fundraise and offer 50 pair of shoes, $1,500, that was the goal. We ended up fundraising over $4,500. 3 years later, it's really turned into something that we didn't expect it to become.
We're all here because we really believe in the mission and in our students, and not just Oak Cliff, but as many students as we can impact. Just know that our whole team is volunteer-based. Most of them are teachers. They see their kids every day. They understand what they need. They understand what they're not getting from the district that they're serving.
It is now more than just shoes. It is about scholarships. It is about education, running summer programs for students. Our summer program is called the Pasos All-Star Sneaker Engineering Program, and we work on them in literacy, math, but we incorporate literacy and math with sneaker design. Part of their experience is designing a original shoe. So we ask them to forget everything they know about shoes. Like, we don't want you to just copy an Air Force or a Jordan 1, a Cortez. Like, this is a shoe they need to design from scratch. So we're gonna have 20 students, 10 of them are going to design a shoe, and 10 of them are gonna create a mini documentary over the experience of one of the students designing their shoe from scratch and the story they're trying to tell. Part of the sneaker project is to tell a story through the shoe. We had a student who, he really loves playing with his dog and his dad outside. So his shoe looks like a mix of, it's really grassy. That's the best way I can describe it. But it was cool. It was cool to see what he came up with. We had another student that she was inspired by her gecko. So her shoe looks like a gecko. They really get really creative with these projects, and it's really cool to see what they're able to create and to see that spark in them to really like education and learning again.
I think with Pasos, it has definitely helped me learn more about the women that are in sneaker culture, but it has also showed me that there's not enough women in sneaker culture. And with our summer program, and we tried to make sure that we have just as many girls as boys. We know there are a lot of girls that are interested in that, and maybe they don't feel represented either, so they don't show a lot of interest because there's no shoes that represent them.
90% of our staff are women, and so we are really trying to develop programs that really speak to them so we can bring in more females and more just female voices in this space of the sneaker culture.
I really do want Oak Cliff and the community, and even just Dallas, to have these little people that are still little grow up and make a big impact. Sometimes
Oak Cliff is looked at as a community that doesn't have anything to offer here locally, and that is far from beyond the truth. A lot of these kids and even their parents, they have a lot to offer. It's just the opportunities haven't been presented to them. So it's about bringing those opportunities to them and about bringing that desire and passion out of them. Businesses or gentrification doesn't feel the need to bring in outsiders into a community when there's already people living here with those skill sets that just haven't been tapped into.
I grew up here, I went to school here, I have a community here, I built friends here.
And Oak Cliff is a place that I call home. It's a place that I grew up in. It's a place that I went to elementary, middle school, high school to. So it is something that I really hold close to my heart. My favorite memory of Pasos has to be our first shoe drive ever. This was August 2020. We were giving out shoes for the first time. For some of them, all they've had was just hand-me-downs. Nothing wrong with it, but there's something like getting a new pair of shoes. Even as adults, I think we get excited when we get a new pair of shoes. But this one girl specifically, I was doing the photos. I was taking photos of the kids holding their shoes. And I was just trying to post her. And when I grabbed the box, she pulled away from me because she thought that I was taking the box from her. But I mean, I wasn't. I was trying to fix it. She just wouldn't let me touch the shoes at all. So I think that has to be one of my favorite memories.
So we were invited to the Maverick Sneakeasy this year, and we had a little showcase with all of our students' sneakers from last year. Tony Romo came with his family, and I was so excited to like go up to him because obviously I love Tony Romo. One of our students that had been invited by the Mavericks, he was one of the ones that designed the sneakers. He was talking to Tony Romo and his sons, and he was basically talking about the project, and he was so excited. He was showing it off. I think that was my proudest moment because he was so good at explaining the project. Sorry. And yeah, no, like Tony Romo was so impressed, and he really was impressed, and he was talking to him, and he was asking us like, oh, how can my sons get involved? And yeah, I think that was really cool to see. Yeah, having Pasos For Oak Cliff just really gave me a whole different perspective on life, pretty much.